I think the strong GDP report, or relatively strong GDP report, the other data are all consistent with that. Now, of course, we're going to get more information, and you never say never because something could always come up, but I think we're pretty clearly on a path towards an increase in rates by the end of the year, which is going to be in the December meeting.
So the big question, Randy, is for next year, 2017, are we talking 2 or are we talking 3? What do you think?
Well, again, that's going to depend on the data. I think we don't see very much inflation pressure now, and so it's likely that it'd be more on the 2 side rather than the 3 side, but that's a whole year away, so we'll have to see how the data evolve.
You've talked about your concerns when it comes to the US economy and what's happening in the US at the moment, and a lot of what you're particularly concerned about is financial stability. And this may come from the financial instability that was around during your tenure,
sure,
at the Federal Reserve. What are the consequences, in your view, and I'm sure you've done a lot of research into this, of having rates so low for so long?
So when I left the Fed, we'd just brought rates down to effectively to 0, and the big debate was whether we would include this phrase "for some time." And we did include that, and then that became for an extended period, et cetera, et cetera. But no one thought that that was going to be 6, 7, 8 years. And I think it's a challenge to use monetary policy, which is really a short-run policy, to try to deal with a long-run policy, economic growth. And the unintended consequences can be, when you have such extraordinarily low rates, you've got a lot of contracts that are in nominal terms, let's say like annuities that have made promises to pay out a certain nominal amount over time. Well, the people who are making those promises figured that they could reinvest at 4 or 5% in a 10-year treasury. That's not the case. It's 1.5, and if you're in Europe, it's 0, or in Japan, you're 0. And so I think these are the things that could lead to some concerns that maybe those nominal promises can't be made.